Tonight, massive breaches at the Canada Revenue Agency, hacking into taxpayers' personal data, costing millions of dollars.
CRA has to tell taxpayers, look, we have a problem, this is happening.
The exclusive investigation and why the government has kept Canadians in the dark. The NDP hang on to power in British Columbia more than a week after a razor-close election.
I think that voters sent a very clear message of change, regardless of this outcome.
And in Saskatchewan, voters head to the polls to choose their next government. Plus, why doctors say it is time to make sick notes a thing of the past.
It's actually a ridiculous use of a healthcare provider's time.
From CBC News, this is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
Thank you for joining us. We begin with the bombshell findings of an exclusive CBC Radio-Canada investigation. Canada Revenue Agency has failed to protect the privacy of tens of thousands of taxpayers as scammers made off with millions in public money. That is the big picture. And tonight, we're going to focus on one apparent hack, the tip of a potential iceberg that is fueling the call for an official inquiry. Daniel Leblanc led the investigation by the Fifth Estate and Radio-Canada. He shows us why it is already generating outrage.
Account numbers, passwords, and schemes used to steal from the public purse are all clicks away on the dark web. Scammers keep on finding new ways to defraud the Canada Revenue Agency. A Fifth Estate Radio-Canada investigation has found that fraudsters have been duping the CRA for millions. 100% success, claims one scammer.
Obviously, the door is open and some people are infiltrating the system, but CRA does not seem to have found the key to lock the door.
Messages posted online this year at the height of tax season point to a breach of data relating to Canada's leading tax preparer, H&R Block. Using what are called e-file credentials from the company, fraudsters hacked into the CRA accounts of real taxpayers and filed false returns. The agency didn't spot the fraud before it approved $6 million in bogus tax refunds, according to sources. In a statement, H&R Block said the data breach did not occur on its end. Ultimately, who hacked that data and where from remains unknown. But sources say this is just one of the many privacy breaches and bogus payouts that could damage the reputation of Canada's tax collection agency.
We have a trust relationship between taxpayers and CRA.
This expert says the CRA is too soft a target in an age of online filings.
CRA has to tell taxpayers, look, we have a problem, this is happening.
Ottawa reported 113 material privacy breaches at the CRA since 2020. After our investigation, the government admitted it was hit by at least 31,000 breaches, exposing the private data of 62,000 taxpayers. The CRA acknowledges it has wrongly paid out $190 million to scammers over the last 4 years, most of it in 2020. In a statement, it said that as scammers adapt their practices, so does the CRA.
I think the agency has this robust system. We're working hard to improve this system all the time, and we have this capacity to detect, to block.
But that's not good enough, says the opposition.
In the latest scandal to hit the Canada Revenue Agency, over 60,000 taxpayers had their personal private information hacked. Over $190 million have been improperly paid to scam artists because of privacy breaches at Revenue Canada.
And now the NDP is calling for a parliamentary inquiry into the mishandling of tax fraud cases at the CRA.
So, Danielle, your story is getting obviously a lot of attention, but there's still a whole bunch of unanswered questions here.
Yeah, that's right. The government will not even talk about the breach involving H&R Block credentials. They're citing privacy rules. It remains unknown, for example, why the CRA paid out refunds to people using fake addresses, or why they didn't detect the fact that fraudsters were using the same bank account to get refunds on behalf of unrelated taxpayers. It's also not clear why so many privacy breaches went unreported for so long. And many taxpayers who say they were the victims of this type of fraud are now reaching out to us. They are frustrated at the way they've been treated by the CRA and the months they've wasted trying to clean up their tax files.
No doubt. Danielle Leblanc, thank you. Finally, after more than a week of ballot counting, tonight a winner has emerged in BC's provincial election. The NDP is poised to form a majority government pending the results of a recount. But as Yasmine Renea explains, the Conservative surge in this tight vote is sending a strong message.
It was almost election night déjà vu as thousands of absentee ballots were counted Monday.
It is unusual for a race to be this close in this many ways.
The NDP now elected in 47 ridings, the Conservatives elected in 44, and the Greens have been elected in 2.
That suggests that something is shifting in the province with regard to the electorate.
It was a razor-thin race, punctuated by small leads in key ridings like Surrey, where absentee ballots pulled the NDP ahead by just a handful of votes. In the months leading up to the election, the BC Conservatives, a party that had been relegated to the political outskirts for almost half a century, made a dramatic resurgence that experts say was partly driven by the popularity of the federal Conservative Party.
Obviously, we're disappointed to not form government in British Columbia, but I think that voters sent a very clear message of change.
Throughout the election campaign, NDP leader David Eby had been battling public anger towards his government over cost of living, public safety, and a healthcare system in crisis. The BC Conservatives focused on populist policies like lower taxes and getting tougher on drug use and crime.
He spoke to the frustrations of a lot of British Columbians.
Eby committing on election night to making changes.
We need to support people with the costs of daily life. We need to make life more affordable for British Columbians. And we need to make communities safe for everybody. And we will do these things.
Eby will hold a news conference Tuesday. In the meantime, he says the province's lieutenant governor has asked him to form the next government, vowing to deliver for British Columbians. Yasmine Renea, CBC News, Vancouver.
And people in Saskatchewan are choosing their next provincial government tonight. Polling stations are now closed and the hand counting of ballots has begun. Will people choose to re-elect the Saskatchewan Party for the 5th straight time, or will the NDP surge to victory? Alexander Silberman is at the Saskatchewan Party headquarters in Regina. Alexander, what are we seeing in the results so far?
Well, Adrian, it's now been more than 3 hours since polls have closed in Saskatchewan, and those results are still continuing to come in, trickling in some ridings where the results have been a bit slower. But so far, Scott Moe's Saskatchewan Party is continuing to lead, a narrow lead. They're dominating in rural parts of the province, maintaining their hold on those areas. But we're seeing the NDP make breakthroughs, flip seats in the city. So where the count stands now, the Sask Party is leading or elected in 34 ridings. Compare that to 27 for the NDP. Now, if the Sask Party pulls this off, a 5th straight majority, that'll be the first time since the Tommy Douglas era. But if the NDP, which has gained momentum, if they win, that would be a major turnaround for the party. Scott Moe kicked off his campaign with high hopes. His Saskatchewan Party, promising voters to stay the course as the only party in government since 2007.
Our record is one that is built and focused on growth and all of the benefits that can come from that growth.
Moe and his team largely campaigned on the economy, promising to build new schools and hire more healthcare workers. All of this while also cutting income taxes.
We have a plan for a strong economy and a plan for a brighter future.
Throughout the campaign, Moe tried to contrast his party with the NDP's time in government nearly 2 decades ago.
It's a record of decline, loss, and closure.
But the NDP's popularity surged under leader Carla Beck.
There's a feeling of change in the air in Saskatchewan.
The former social worker has tried to win support from people frustrated by the current government. Her campaign focused on the cost of living, education, and healthcare, and lately trying to sway voters in rural ridings, the heart of the Saskatchewan Party base.
Our message is not just for urban Saskatchewan. It's not just for, a select few voters.
That NDP momentum put the Sask Party on the defensive, campaigning in areas where the party has won comfortably in the past.
So, Alexander, you mentioned that the vote is coming in slowly. It really is. And there is a reason for that.
That's right, Adrian. It's been incredibly slow tonight. Those results ticking in one after another after this long anticipation. And that's all because these votes are being counted by hand. The Saskatchewan Party government voted against using electronic vote tabulators. Scott Moe said if people are casting those ballots by hand, they should be counted by hand. So this long election night could be quite a bit longer.
All right, Alexander Silberman, thank you. So you can find up-to-the-minute results all night long. Just head to cbc.ca/sask to see a riding-by-riding vote count. Now, outgoing New Brunswick Premier Blaine Higgs has officially stepped down as Progressive Conservative leader. This comes after a decisive election defeat to Susan Holt's Liberal Party. Former provincial cabinet minister Glenn Savoy will step in as interim Tory leader. Savoy won his seat last week by only 34 votes. Well, this was a bittersweet moment tonight for U.S. President Joe Biden. That's Biden exiting a polling booth in Delaware after casting an early ballot in the presidential election, a ballot he wanted to be on just a few short months ago. A lot, obviously, has changed since then, including the tone of the campaign. Donald Trump's New York rally yesterday continues to be widely condemned for its hateful rhetoric. Katie Simpson now on the impact it's having in the final days of the race.
On the defensive, Donald Trump taking aim yet again at his critics.
He's Hitler. And then they say he's a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. I'm the opposite of a Nazi.
As his allies tried to convince American voters to shrug off his racist and sexist rally.
I think we need to all get off our high horses and acknowledge that a bad joke was told.
I think that we have to stop getting so offended at every little thing in the United States of America.
Trump's running mate says he didn't see the comedy set in question, even as his campaign says the jokes do not represent the Republican ticket.
There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
But there was no condemnation of Trump advisor Stephen Miller's nationalist rhetoric.
America is for Americans and Americans only.
Or distance from insults hurled at Kamala Harris.
As the first Samoan Malaysian low IQ former California prosecutor, she is the devil, whoever screamed that out.
Puerto Rican and Latino leaders across the U.S. held protests in multiple states, including battleground Pennsylvania, home to hundreds of thousands of Puerto Rican and Latino voters.
Enough is enough, folks. I've had it. I hope that you don't forget, because I won't forget.
Harris called Trump's rally nonsense, accusing him of stoking fear.
Donald Trump spends full time trying to have Americans point their finger at each other. Fans the fuel of hate and division.
Trump's campaign is openly exploiting racism to its advantage, according to this political science professor.
I think it's built on an assumption that, well, if we feel this way, then surely lots of other people feel this way as well.
Harris is expected to highlight racist attacks in her major speech Tuesday, delivered in the same spot Trump rallied his supporters on January 6th. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
In this country, Pierre Poilievre says he has a plan to boost construction of new homes if Conservatives are elected to form the next government. He says they will scrap the GST on housing units that go for less than $1 million. Marina von Stackelberg brings us reaction to the plan and the politics surrounding it.
No, we're gonna have dinner now.
No. A meal together in a brand new home. This family just moved to an Ottawa suburb. The price tag for this house, nearly $700,000.
I definitely support putting more money in the genes of new home buyers, that's for sure.
Dad Christian Farquhar works in home construction. He's seen firsthand how the price of building has gone up.
In the last 12 years, we're paying almost double what we used to pay for pavers alone in interlock, and even wood, everything's gone up, everything's skyrocketed.
Because of this. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says he has a plan to fix it. He wants to remove the federal sales tax on any brand new homes that cost less than $1 million.
common sense conservatives will stop giving the money to bureaucrats, instead leave it in the pockets of home builders and home buyers.
It's a pitch home builders say would cut the price of a new home by tens of thousands of dollars and encourage construction.
It's exactly the kind of thing we need to help new and young Canadians be able to afford houses and in turn so that we can be able to build them.
To pay for the GST tax cut, the Conservatives say if elected, they plan to get rid of 2 federal programs. Billions of dollars Ottawa is giving municipalities to change zoning and fast-track housing developments, and billions more to provinces and territories to build infrastructure those homes will need, like sewers and water.
A lot of the red tape has been completely cut to make it easier and faster to build homes. If you want to now go back to municipalities and pull that money out, that would make no sense.
Canada's housing minister accused the Conservatives of borrowing a page from his playbook. The Liberal government has already removed the GST on the construction of new rental properties, and Sean Fraser did not rule out doing the same for new homes. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
The Canadian Medical Association wants employers to stop asking for sick notes. Doctors say it is a waste of time and important resources. And as Mike Crawley tells us, they say eliminating the notes would take a big burden off the healthcare system.
As a busy family physician with hundreds of patients, Dr. Nav Prasad thinks there are better uses of his medical expertise than writing sick notes.
Even though each sick note doesn't take a very long time to write, it's just a few sentences usually, or one sentence typed into an electronic health record, there usually is an unnecessary interaction with the patient. The patient has to spend time contacting the physician, sometimes even booking an appointment that could be booked by someone who really needs care.
The Canadian Medical Association estimates that family doctors spend 1.5 million hours each year writing sick notes, the equivalent of 5 million patient visits.
It's actually a ridiculous use of a healthcare provider's time.
Now the CMA is calling on employers to stop requiring sick notes for short-term minor illnesses such as colds.
Canadians can relate to how frustrating it is when an employer asks you to go see a doctor when you don't need to see the doctor. You need to sleep, rest, get better so you can get back to work.
So, what do employees think about sick notes?
I had slipped on ice, so I'm in pain physically. The last thing I want to do is walk to a doctor's office.
Problem is trying to get through a doctor's facility, a physician, to sign off on it.
The group that represents small business in Canada says most of its members don't demand sick notes for routine illness, but they do want recourse if a worker might be abusing the system.
For example, if somebody is consistently sick on a Friday, it's like every third Friday, they for some reason are sick, right? You start to wonder, is this really the case, right?
Among the provinces, Nova Scotia led the way last year, banning employers from demanding sick notes for illnesses of up to 5 days. And then just this month, both Ontario and Quebec passed legislation banning the practice, but only for illnesses of 3 days or fewer. Mike Crawley, CBC News, Toronto.
A record number of Canadians are turning to food banks for help.
In the past, an individual person might get a full box of cereal, and now that's been cut back to a 4-cup serving.
Now, some say food banks are at risk of collapse. More fallout from the Rogers price hike as the NDP calls on the government to take action.
Will the Liberals have the courage to do it? Yes or no?
And an actor's lookalikes get a sweet surprise. We're back in 2. Well, cash-strapped Canadians are leaning on food banks like never before, according to the latest numbers, and that is forcing some food banks to cut back on how much they offer each person. Heather Gillis shows us the tough choices being made in some Atlantic provinces.
Fresh moose stew, a welcome addition to the food hampers at the Bridges to Hope Food Bank in St. John's. Demand here is up. Bridges to Hope fed 13,000 people last year. This year, on track to help 30% more. It's forcing them to cut back on some hamper items.
In the past, an individual person might get a full box of cereal, and now that's been cut back to a 4-cup serving per person.
A cup of instant coffee now only filled to 3/4 of one. In rural Newfoundland, there's another barrier: access to the food bank itself.
For a lot of people, they either don't have transportation or they have a limited budget for gas and stuff, especially in an area with no public transportation. So we've been hearing from people that usually they stretch their trips to the food bank a little bit further.
And it's all donated.
Demand is also surging at this Nova Scotia food bank. It means cutbacks here, too.
We're not buying juice anymore. We're not buying like canned turkey, ham. We do buy canned tuna.
According to Food Bank Canada's latest count, visits across the country were up by 6% for the year that ended in March. 2 million people in Canada went to a food bank that month. That's nearly doubled in 5 years.
So food banks are not designed to support this type of rapid increase in such a short period of time. And as a result, what we're seeing is many are buckling under the strain.
Meanwhile, staff at food banks in Newfoundland and Labrador and Nova Scotia are bracing for the colder months ahead as heating bills stretch budgets and demand rises even further. They're calling on the federal government for help fast. Heather Gillis, CBC News, St. John's.
Justin Trudeau is facing a deadline to support the Bloc Québécois' proposed increase in pensions or risk an early election.
It's bad economics. It's an even worse social policy.
About that, Andrew Chang explains why the Liberals may be between a rock and a hard place. And a historic town debates a return to coal.
For 50 years, we've been talking about tourism, but it doesn't bring the investment, the mortgage-paying jobs.
The National breaks down the stories shaping our world. Next. Well, that was a moving moment this weekend after Adele spotted Céline Dion in the audience of her Las Vegas show. The two there embracing both shed a few tears as the crowd roared, probably for both of them. Well, over the weekend, fans of Timothée Chalamet got quite the surprise when the American actor made an unannounced appearance at his own lookalike contest. Thousands RSVP'd online to the event in New York's Washington Square Park. The contest requirements: the Dune star's signature look, that mop of dark curly hair, those sharp cheekbones, and a Hollywood smolder. Now, several faux Timmies entered the competition, but this fan won the $50 prize dressed as Chalamet in the Willy Wonka prequel movie. Then, the real pandemonium began when the actor himself snuck in to the delight of fans and lookalikes. Police eventually stepped in and shut down what they called the unsanctioned event. One contestant was even arrested, although it's unclear why. The organizer posted on social media saying he received a $500 fine. Was it worth it, though? Fans certainly thought so. There are more calls for change tonight in the wake of a CBC News investigation into Rogers' price increases. A week after our Go Public team first highlighted customer concerns, the NDP is calling on the Liberal government to put the telecom giant on notice, reverse those price hikes, or face consequences. Erica Johnson now with an update.
Rogers must be put on notice.
It's the latest volley in a growing movement against a recent Rogers price hike. The NDP calling on the Liberals to make Rogers roll back an increase or be banned from federal contracts.
Will the Liberals have the courage to do it? Yes or no?
He's talking about customers who thought they had a guaranteed price for TV services, like 81-year-old Roger Burrows, who claims Rogers recently misled him into signing a 2-year deal for TV, phone, and internet, urging him to lock in a great rate with a price guarantee. But after he signed, his bill went up.
They're devious. They tell you one thing and do another.
Go Public has been contacted by Rogers customers across the country who say they too were promised a guaranteed deal.
This is not what I was expecting.
It's not right. They are gouging people.
I felt lied to and cheated.
A contract clause allows price increases for rental equipment, like TV boxes. This contract law expert says telco agreements need an overhaul.
These contracts are very long, difficult to understand, and they're generally unfair to consumers.
The NDP claims the Liberals have awarded Rogers $165 million in contracts in the past 2 years.
And if they're not going to be good operators, then stop getting a chance to actually bid and get more money from Canadian taxpayers.
In a statement to go public, a spokesperson for the industry minister dismissed the NDP's call to ban Rogers from future contracts, saying it could significantly impact services for Canadians.
I would like to move a motion.
Meantime, members of a parliamentary committee have unanimously agreed to invite Rogers' CEO to Parliament Hill.
A spokesperson for Rogers told Go Public the company always works collaboratively with Parliament and reiterated the majority of Rogers' customers aren't affected by this latest price hike, though he wouldn't say how many are. Erica Johnson, CBC News, Vancouver.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. A long-time Alberta coal town that turned from mining to tourism is deciding whether to go back for the future.
This community needs employment.
But first, the Liberal government under pressure to add billions to a pension plan or risk losing parliamentary support.
It's bad economics. It's even worse social policy.
The Bloc's deadline looms. So what are they demanding and what's at stake? Andrew Chang, host of About That, breaks down the price tag, the politics, and who would pay.
The Liberal government has a big problem. It's stuck between a rock and a hard place, deciding whether to support a bill it doesn't seem to believe in or risk losing power entirely.
We have deposed a law, which is now at the very center of the survival of this government. This is what we call power.
That law the Bloc Québécois is proposing is to increase old age security payments for people between 65 and 74 by 10%, which sounds appealing, except every single economist we spoke to said it suffers from a glaring problem. It would indebt an entire generation that is perhaps least equipped to deal with it. A generation the Liberals have promised to prioritize.
We're looking at trying to spend $3.5 billion per year. By and large, that money has to come from younger generations.
It's bad economics. It's even worse social policy.
I can't think of a reason that justifies this policy.
But if the Liberals don't play ball with the Bloc, they've threatened to rally the votes they need to bring the government down and force a snap election, something the Conservatives have also been clamoring to do.
They're going to do anything they possibly can at this stage to try and bring down the government.
So let's break down this dilemma and whether the Liberals will find a way out. Now, when we spoke with economists about this bill, the thing they kept stressing is that while increasing OAS payments to some seniors would absolutely help them make ends meet, and times are tough, there is a fairly big trade-off.
This is a very costly move, just given the size of the group that's going to be getting these checks. It might only be a few dollars a month per person, but when you add it up across the country, it is a lot of money.
So right now, if you're over 65 in Canada and you've lived here for a while, you're probably eligible for old age security. What does that look like? Well, it means a government check for everybody between 65 and 74, up to around $727 a month. If you're over 74, the government recently bumped your payments up by 10% to $800 a month. The Bloc proposal is seeking to increase payments to seniors in that first category by 10% as well. So here's the big picture. Last year, this program covered 7.2 million Canadians, costing the government around $60 billion. The 10% increase, that would represent another $3.2 billion every year, and probably forever.
It's not like a lot of other government benefits that, sure, you can implement them, and then if you change your mind later, you can phase them out. Seniors benefits that people count on for the retirement are really tough to phase out.
And $3.2 billion additional dollars, that's really just the start, because baby boomers are a huge generation, and every year, more of them become eligible. According to this government projection, a decade from now, nearly 10 million people will be getting OAS, which will cost more than $100 billion. And that's before this 10% increase, and before you take into account that OAS payments are indexed to inflation. So if the price of things rises 5%, so do payments.
This increase that's being proposed by the Bloc Québécois costs X number of dollars now, but it might not cost that in the years down the road. It could be actually a much more significant budget commitment than what even the Parliamentary Budget Officer is insisting it will be now.
Which brings us to the root of the problem economists have, and that is, who pays for this?
With any decision to spend money, you have to ask where the money is coming from. And I think when you look at this, you'd say this is fundamentally a transfer from taxpayers to the retired, from workers to the retirees.
Yes, somebody has to pay, and generally it's younger Canadians. Now, in previous generations, this wasn't as much an issue because there were lots of working age taxpayers to support a relatively small pool of retirees. Back in the 1970s, for example, there were around 7 working age Canadians for every person over 65, which means the cost to support one OAS recipient was split by 7 workers. But things have shifted a lot since then. Now, there are just 3.3 workers for every person over 65. And by 2027, there will be just 3, which means every individual worker is paying more and more of their tax dollars to sustain this program.
And what that means to working age Canadians is tax increases or spending reductions elsewhere. And that's a really difficult fiscal challenge for governments all over the world.
And so those governments have to make some difficult decisions. Do you rack up more debt, which costs future generations more money? Do you raise taxes? Do you spend less elsewhere? Where do you find billions of dollars?
The main concern I think we have is how are we going to pay for this? If we're going to start raising the taxes on young families, or maybe starting to claw back some of the child benefits they get, maybe we're going to claw back on those childcare systems that we've been trying to build, that's a huge expense to them.
Now, this is where the issue gets prickly, right? Because seniors have struggled through spiking inflation the same way everyone else has. In some ways, their situations can feel even more precarious because they're often on fixed incomes.
There are certainly a lot of seniors who are struggling just as everyone else is with some spikes in costs and rents and that sort of thing. But there are others who aren't.
There are others who aren't. To explain what he means, consider how much money you can pull in every year and still be eligible for OAS. It's around $150,000 a year. So that's a really broad income range that covers all sorts of people.
While that certainly includes some individuals who are very low income, who could really use the money, it also includes some very high income seniors, people who have 6-figure salaries or maybe 2 6-figure salaries in their household and plenty of savings to rely on.
Yes, if the government wanted to use a more precise tool to help low income seniors, there is another program called the Guaranteed Income Supplement, or the GIS. These payments are directly tied to your income.
And so if poverty was the motivator, then we would boost the GIS, not the OAS. So it is unclear what problem it is trying to solve.
But even then, consider one other factor. The rate of poverty among younger generations is nearly double that of people over 65. And according to the think tank Generation Squeeze, the government is already spending 4 times less on programs to support people under 45 than it is on those over 65.
The baby boomers, those people born from, after the war until the mid 60s, are exactly the most favored group that we have in our population.
So increasing payments even more for that latter group, question is it fair?
Over the next 5 years, old age security is already planned to grow by $71 billion of additional spending. By comparison, housing will get $6 billion, post-secondary, $5 billion. The historic $10 a day childcare system will get $10 billion. So you can see the relative gap between 71 and 10 and 6 and 5.
Both the change in housing prices and the current economic situation benefits older generations. And so then for the government to additionally increase income for older generations does exacerbate that inequality.
So the Liberals have a decision to make. Can they support a bill that feels like the opposite of what they've spent years standing for?
You, as a young Canadian, are the heartbeat of our economy, and you deserve an economy that gives you a fair shot at success.
Or do they risk defeat at the hands of the opposition at a time when they have never been more unpopular, and where every opinion poll suggests if an election were held today, they'd lose?
There are two parties in the House of Commons that want an election tomorrow, and one of them is the Bloc Québécois. They just won the by-election unexpectedly in Saskatchewan, and they'd like to have an election. The Conservatives want an election because they think they will form a government.
Remember, the Liberals no longer have the tacit support of the NDP, ever since Jagmeet Singh unceremoniously ended his party's agreement with the government last month.
Today, I notified the Prime Minister that I've ripped up the supply and confidence agreement.
Which means a majority of opposition MPs can band together and effectively vote to topple the government. The Bloc has made clear, if the Liberals don't deliver on this increase to the OAS, they will try to bring the government down.
They might hope that they will go further than October 29th. They will not.
So far, the Liberals haven't given a clearly defined position on the Bloc's ultimatum, but they have given clues.
We really take as our starting point what is good for Canada and Canadians.
We're not going to be held hostage simply to extend the life of our government to something that makes absolutely no sense.
Which means the Liberals may only truly be considering two options: an election or another deal. Perhaps some compromise with their former partners, the NDP, where they give some kind of handout to seniors in need, but, Adrian, without breaking the bank for the very people who brought Justin Trudeau to power in the first place.
All right, we have some breaking news for you. CBC News projects the Saskatchewan Party will form a majority government in that province. Voters handed Scott Moe's party its fifth straight majority, but it will be a diminished one. The NDP, under Carla Beck, has made substantial gains. We'll know the full seat count in the coming hours as votes continue to be counted by hand, but we can tell you that Scott Moe will hang on to power. Stay with us. The open pit conflict in an Alberta town, the proposed new coal mine, and the pushback over ecological risks.
It was a dirty place. There was coal dust covering everything.
But others say the economic alternative, tourism, has been given a fair chance and just hasn't delivered the jobs. Kyle Back shows us a community divided ahead of a vote that might shape its future.
Even in a historic coal town, the prospect of a new mine is controversial.
I don't have a problem being called an Inuit. I'm here to fight for what I think can be a better place.
The Crow's Nest Pass in southwest Alberta is at a crossroads, whether to return to mining or leave coal in the past.
For 50 years we've been talking about tourism, but it doesn't bring the investment, the mortgage-paying jobs.
A bitter battle escalating ahead of a public vote next month. No matter where you look, there are signs professing affection for coal here and others highlighting the environmental risk. The community has been a coal town for generations, stretching back more than 100 years. The last coal mine in the area closed in the 1980s. Hundreds of people here still work in coal, commuting every day to mines across the border in BC.
I have a one-bedroom.
The owners of this bed and breakfast rely on tourism, but what they really want is the return of coal mining.
I would like to see it go ahead, and the sooner the better. This community needs employment.
As a kid, he remembers how busy the shops were when the mines were still open.
There would have been 3 hardware stores, 4 or 5 clothing stores, 4 or 5 grocery stores. Now we have basically nothing. So when they shut down the mines in the mid-70s, people started to dissipate from here, and the business just went away.
Others have different memories, and that's why they're worried.
It was a dirty place. There was coal dust covering everything.
Retired realtor John Redekop wants to leave coal in the history books. Instead, he says the Crow's Nest should double down on tourism, considering it's perfect for outdoor adventures like backcountry skiing, mountain biking, and fly fishing. The choice is tourism or coal. He says it can't be both.
I don't have a problem being called an idiot. This is a beautiful place, and I love my community, and I'm here to fight for what I think can be a better place.
The fight is over Grassy Mountain. The views here are breathtaking, but all the focus is on what's below your feet.
Behind me, I have Grassy Mountain, and this is an unreclaimed area. So it was an area that was mined for several decades and then left 60 years ago.
Grassy Mountain was already mined once before, decades ago, with remnants not hard to find. The company now owning the site, Northback, wants to open its own mine, producing steel-making coal for at least the next 20 years. Northback is giving public tours and trying to alleviate concerns about dust and pollution.
Here in Alberta, we have this valuable resource, and we believe that we can extract it responsibly and safely.
There is debris left over from past mining on the mountain. Northback is pledging to properly clean it up, but only if its new mine is approved.
So this letter goes to Premier Daniel Smith.
Carmen and Troy Linderman are convinced. They're working to galvanize support in the community to bring back the coal mining industry.
For 50 years, we've been talking about tourism coming in and doing things, and we've had pockets of that, and we've had some success, there's no doubt. But it doesn't bring the investment, the mortgage-paying jobs. They're just not happening.
They have a website and social media page while holding events and attending markets. The stakes, they feel, couldn't be higher.
The fear is that our community is shrinking and dying.
For opponents, their worries often come back to water, so precious it has to be protected. The Grassy Mountain project would risk polluting waterways, which is already a problem at some coal mines in BC.
The main concern is the water. This is the headwaters of the Crow's Nest River. This water eventually flows into Hudson Bay. This watershed, the Crow's Nest watershed, has been severely damaged by mining and by logging. It needs to be restored.
The plebiscite is not binding, but will give the municipality direction on whether or not to advocate for a return to coal. No matter how the political winds blow, many in the Crow's Nest can't wait for the vote to be over so the community can move forward again.
Now that vote is set for November 25th. Whatever the outcome, the company still has several regulatory hurdles to clear before the project could ever get off the ground. Well, next, a Halloween costume that scores big with a hockey fan's idol.
What's up, Papi?
Let's go!
The kid turned captain in our moment. Now, I know, he looks exactly like Maple Leafs captain Austin Matthews, but that is actually Grayson Joseph. Dressed up as not only his idol for Halloween, but his idol's trading card. So his dad posted a video of the costume online. It caught the attention of the real Matthews, and our very own Greg Ross caught up with the father-son duo. Tonight, the starstruck fan makes our moment.
How does it feel knowing that Austin Matthews has seen your creation here?
Good.
Put it on there so
All right. At home, he doesn't stop talking about hockey. He knows more hockey stats than I know. He can name basically the entire team.
How many goals did he score last year?
69.
Austin Matthews. I actually worked with a printing company in the town that I live in. I helped them with some of the graphic work, mainly with the background, and then they did the front and back to match it up with the original card.
What's up, Papi?
Let's go!
NHL reached out really quick within, I think, less than 24 hours, and they ended up moving it onto all their platforms. And then they sent me the message that Austin Matthews had put it up. To me, it was just surreal. Like, I just couldn't believe that something could happen and turn around that fast. I walked into his room where he was laying in bed, and he had that exact look on his face, and I can't bring it up without him having the same look on his face. And I said, Austin Matthews shared your post to his Instagram, and this is basically the look that has been glued to him ever since, so it feels really good.
I love that. A couple years ago, a little guy came to my front door dressed as like an Amazon box, big tears because he couldn't get up and down the stairs. So I beg you, if you see Grayson, take the candy to him. Don't make that poor little guy try to climb the stairs in that. From all of us at The National, thank you for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app and subscribe to The National's YouTube channel. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Take care.